Okay, so this next video is a little bit more, I guess, personal and something I just wanted to talk to you guys about. I'm sure you guys are probably have dealt with this before in your life, and I talked to like a lot of my classmates about this and a lot of people. But basically, these past couple of months, recently I've been dealing with like insomnia. And I've had insomnia before. I remember when I was a little kid, it was the worst thing in the world. I'd like make my mom come sleep with me and I'd just cry because I couldn't fall asleep, and I would try everything from listening to music to reading a book to just like trying to relax before going to bed, and nothing would work. And I don't remember how long it lasted, but I think it lasted a few months. And then eventually I just started sleeping on my own again. And it was really rough. I remember thinking I was crazy. I couldn't understand why I couldn't sleep and what was keeping me up. I was in like middle school or elementary school. Like I was really young. I don't know what was keeping me up all night to not let me sleep. Normally I'm a really great sleeper. Like I'm one of those people that go to bed at like 10 and I pass out. Like you cannot wake me up. I am sleepy, I'm tired. Once I'm in bed, I'm dead, and then I don't wake up till the morning. And that's just how I've always been. Like that's just how people know me, is I'm a little sleepy head and I love to go to sleep early. Like I hate staying up late, not my thing at all. I'll pick sleep over studying or over anything else. But then this past month I started suffering from some like really bad insomnia, to the point where I would stay up all night till like 6 in the morning and eventually fall asleep at like 7 in the morning for like an hour or two and then have to head to class. But when I would have class, I wouldn't even sleep if it was 6 in the morning. And I just started feeling like I was going crazy. It was getting so hard to like survive at school because this would happen for like days and days in a row, and the worst one that happened was for a whole week in a row where I couldn't sleep. And my problem was usually like falling asleep. That was the hardest thing for me, and then when I'd wake up it'd be hard to fall back asleep just in general. But the hardest thing would be just falling asleep for the night, and sometimes I just wouldn't. And so I tried everything. I know everything out there. I started reading articles like a crazy person. I have a lavender diffuser back here that diffuses lavender for me. I started listening to sleep hypnosis meditation at night. I tried reading a book before going to bed. I tried like turning on the TV and trying to fall asleep to like maybe sounds on the TV at night. I tried to like not even look at my phone or my laptop or anything for an hour before bed. I tried to like relax before bed. I tried melatonin. I tried valerian root. I even tried something called Unisum, which is like a diphenhydramine, I think, which makes you fall asleep because it's an antihistamine. I tried so much. I was like literally losing it. Even sleepy time tea. And I kept reading about bedtime hygiene, how you have to follow the same schedule, blah blah blah, everything. But nothing was working, because it was literally like when you have insomnia, it's kind of like up to you if you want to sleep or not. It's like kind of up to your brain, I guess. Like with insomnia, I feel like my brain was in control. So if it didn't want to sleep, and if I was like psyching myself out about not sleeping, I would not sleep. No matter what medications I took, no matter what I did, I just wouldn't fall asleep. And so it was getting kind of crazy, and I was just sitting up all night thinking, and then every night before going to bed I started stressing about sleeping because I was so scared about not sleeping that I would like psych myself out and of course not sleep. And I just started feeling like I wasn't myself, and it was getting hard to concentrate at school. It was getting hard to like just like focus, to like feel like a human. I just felt dead. I don't know if you guys have ever like not slept for a couple days in a row and felt like you just aren't even alive. Things like don't feel the same, sensations are different, like you just feel like depressed. It was getting like hard. It was really getting hard, and sometimes I'd stay up at night like crying because I just couldn't fall asleep. I even tried like switching rooms and everything, and so like the past week or so, I've actually been doing a lot better about falling asleep and staying asleep. Falling asleep is still really hard, but I haven't stayed up till 6 in the morning for a long time now, which is good. That was probably the hardest, was when I couldn't sleep all night. It's very frustrating. And I tried to just quiet my brain down. Like basically, I know what's keeping me up all night is me thinking about everything. I try to like plan out my life. I try to like plan out my test grades. I try to plan out how I'm going to do in school tomorrow, what I'm going to do for the rest of the week. And it was getting like overwhelming to the point where I'd stay up all night like planning all this stuff, and I couldn't fall asleep because my brain was so active. And it was just really hard, and I started talking to like everyone about it and asking them like, hey, what do you do if you can't sleep, and hey, what should I, like, what's going on, like, what do you think I'm doing wrong and stuff. And now I kind of like know, like, I can like now sense when I'm thinking too much, and I know that if I'm thinking too much I won't fall asleep. Like, I can think about it now more. Before, I feel like I was having a hard time controlling my brain, and it was just like on and on and on and on. And another thing that was really hard is, like, it's still hard, is like figuring out that you're thinking, because sometimes you'll be laying in bed and you won't even realize that you've been thinking for like an hour or 2 hours, like nonstop, so you haven't fallen asleep yet. And then I'll have to be like, no, you gotta quiet your brain. So then I'll try to like quiet my brain and just stop thinking about anything. And that's probably one of the hardest things. Sometimes I try to like listen to my breathing, or I'll put ocean sounds on, and just whatever will distract my brain from like thinking, because then immediately once I stop, I pass out. I don't even remember passing out. So I kind of just figured out like what to do, but I tried everything, guys. So if this is something that you're going through, eventually you will sleep. I got to the point where I was like, I'm never sleeping again. Like, when I got to my 1 week binger of not sleeping, it was pretty bad. Like, I was pretty like just dead tired, scared, not sure what was going on in my life, just stressed. And I think it was just this like past block, the CPR block, was just really hard. It was definitely different compared to the other blocks, a lot more material, a lot more challenging, and it was just keeping me up at night. I was stressed about that. I was stressed about like the research that I have to do this summer. I was stressed about finishing up doctoring. We had some OSCEs where we talked like a final exam kind of thing. There was just a lot going on in my mind. And so I'm really excited just for summer break to finally like relax and not think again, and just sleep well and not worry too much, because honestly, worrying is your like worst enemy, and I learned that I need to stop doing that and maybe save it for like the morning, or write out a schedule, or do something other than spending my entire night thinking instead of sleeping and like rejuvenating myself. So that's something that I had dealt with, and I really wanted to talk to you guys about it and to see like how many of you guys have experienced insomnia before, how you deal with it, what you do. I got to the point where I was gonna ask my family doctor if he could prescribe me like something for sleeping, to the point like that's how like desperate I was to sleep. But I don't want to get addicted to anything. I'm not like the type of person that wants to. I'm already addicted to coffee, guys. That's enough. So I really wanted to work on it myself, and my doctor would always tell his patients, he said sleeping is like a habit. It's something that you have to train yourself to do. And so I didn't want to depend on a sleeping pill to put me to sleep. I wanted to learn what was going on, figure it out like psychologically, I guess, and then work on it. And that's what I recommend you guys do. And I know it's going to be frustrating when there's people out there being like, have you heard of sleep hygiene? Or have you tried this, this, and this? And you're like, yes, I've tried everything, nothing works, and it's frustrating. Just know that eventually you will fall asleep. I even read an article that said that you can only stay awake for like 11 days straight, and then your body will pass out. So that's helpful too. But at the same time, just like figure out what is going on, like analyze what is keeping you up at night, and figure out a way to stop thinking and stop worrying, and save that for a different part of your day. And that really helped. And then sometimes I still like, my like go-to trick that I've always used my whole life is definitely switching rooms. And people think I'm crazy, but if I go to a different bed or a different room, or I go try to sleep on the couch, for some reason that like tricks my brain into not thinking that that's the room where I think, and then I pass out. So if you guys are ever desperate to like fall asleep and it doesn't work in your bedroom, definitely get up and move. One of the hardest things, which I still struggle with and I still don't do, is something that research articles say, is getting up if you haven't fallen asleep in 20 minutes and doing a different activity. For some reason, I cannot bring myself to do that, and I will just lay in my bed for like the entire night instead of getting up and doing something else. So I would try doing that. Sometimes when I would get up and read a book, it would actually help me fall back asleep. Even if it's 2 in the morning and you're like, what the heck, why am I not sleeping? I'm not gonna get up and do something at this hour. Do it, because it will help. And so I tried that, and that kind of helped as well. And then just like listening to music sometimes helps, and then meditation sometimes helps too. But it was never something that always helped, so I did try everything. But eventually I knew that it was something that I had to deal with, and that I had to talk to my brain about, I guess. So it's hard sometimes. We live such like active lives where we're like go, 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 that it's really hard to like relax and just go to bed at night and not think. But those are the things that I tried, and that's kind of just what worked for me. And for like sleeping aids, if you guys ever need anything, I do have like melatonin, the 5 milligrams, but apparently if you take the 5 milligrams, it's too much and it doesn't work. It like overshoots your body. Someone was telling me to try the 0.3 micrograms instead. I have this like valerian root, like natural capsule thing with a couple different plants that are supposed to make you sleepy, and then something called Calms Forte, which like calms you and like is anti-anxiety kind of thing. And these are all like over-the-counter natural aids. I even tried Sleepy Time tea, and then of course that Unisum was probably the only one that was an actual like medication, like an antihistamine that does help you sleep. And I only use that like once because once again I don't want to get addicted to anything. So currently I'm not on anything sleeping aid wise, because I have been able to sleep just by figuring out what like works for me and how to calm my brain down right before bed and to make sure I have no thoughts or anything, and to just stop myself when I am thinking, because that's like the major thing that you have to do, is just stop yourself and then realize that you are thinking in the first place, which is hard sometimes. And then I don't know, I just tried to stay positive because it got really hard at times when I just couldn't sleep. The people around me were sleeping, like my family, my boyfriend. They'd just pass out and I would just sit there and stare at them like, why are you sleeping and why can't I sleep? But those thoughts are so bad. They're so negative because it's just not your fault. Like, there's nothing you can do, and you thinking those thoughts is just gonna make it worse. I didn't get around to finishing the end of the video because the camera actually died in the middle, but I wanted to finish it real quick. I just wanted to let you guys know that it's gonna be okay and that we're all gonna make it through these difficulties. Hopefully it's not a permanent thing and it is just a thing that you are going through right now, and eventually you will be able to sleep again. But just don't give up, and just be patient with yourself. We're all human, we all have problems, we're never perfect. So I hope you guys found this video useful and helpful and calming. If you have been going through the same thing, just know that there's other people out there going through the exact same thing. And I just wanted to be real with you guys and open and just let you guys know what's been going on in my life, since I haven't been on YouTube for almost a month now. But that's it for this video, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye guys.